It's a Zoom.
Welcome to all of our guests. It's so great to have you all with us. As you can see, we're already having fun. That's what we do here in FAST. It's all about relationships here at FAST. And so as you can see, as you have programs and you build that relationship, you can see how much fun we have. And that's what you're coming into and listening to at the moment. We are so happy that you're here. We are excited. We have a full Zoom today. And we're so excited to have you all with us to really talk about one of the programs that we're doing here locally in Wisconsin. And that is our project at Milwaukee Public Schools. If you are new to FAST, FAST itself is a internationally known program, evidence-based program that really works on building relationships between parents and within the same family, family to family, family to school, family to community. That is really what we are best known for. And we have amazing people that are here with us today, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to come in. So we're going to keep allowing people to come in while I share. But we have a really great group to share with you today. We are really proud of our program that we have at Milwaukee Public Schools. We are right now in 5 different schools in MPS doing our traditional FAST program in elementary schools. It's a project right now that is funded through Department of Children and Families of Wisconsin. And we absolutely are grateful to partner with the state on this project and working with our families here in Milwaukee. And we have a great panel today that is going to talk about all of the amazing things that they're doing. And we really want to highlight as we continue to do these coffees with Toni. In case you didn't know, I'm Toni Rivera-Wachin. I am the Executive Director of FAST International. It is a pleasure to be with you all, and I will be facilitating this conversation. So if you came into a coffee with Toni, you're in the right place. I am Toni. If you didn't think you were coming to a coffee with Toni, you can exit, but we hope you'll stay to listen to all the great things that we got to talk about today. We have this amazing project with MPS, and unfortunately, someone from the district could not be with us today. They are hosting a staff meeting at the same time that we're hosting our coffee with Toni because of scheduling challenges. And our most important election next week, we had to make an exception and host it a week earlier. We didn't want to compete with who's going to be our future president. So we decided to change our date. And here we are on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. And normally at 2 o'clock, we would have our own staff meeting. So you will still see some staff that are coming in from FAST. Some of our trainers are here with us from both the US and internationally. I see a few of you by name. Thank you so much for being with us again. And so we're gonna just get started. I'm just gonna start by sharing some words from our district of MPS staff who couldn't be with us. For our project team at FAST, many of you know that the manager of parent engagement at Milwaukee Public Schools was a former staff person of mine for 10 years in a former life when I was at Children's Hospital, Wisconsin, working with Project Ujima. And so we asked them to share some words, and I just want to say from the district level, there is a very strong commitment for Milwaukee Public Schools to engage parents. And not necessarily in the traditional ways of engaging parents, but really at the grassroots level of having parents feel comfortable coming into the building and really being a part of the lives of their children as they move through education at Milwaukee Public Schools. I have had the pleasure to work for Milwaukee Public Schools in a past life. I certainly know the commitment of this administration right now that's currently leading MPS. Many of them have moved through the ranks from teacher to principal to administrator and now working at the district level. And so I know firsthand that there's a strong commitment to having a really strong relationship between parents and their children and the school climate and relationship. And so from the district, I welcome you to this conversation. I hope you find it exciting, and I hope you learn a lot about what we're doing in Milwaukee. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Walker, who is with us, who I know has to leave abruptly, who's one of our principals at one of our schools in Milwaukee Public Schools, for her to kind of share some of her thoughts and experiences running the FAST program as a principal at a school, and kind of sharing the impact that it's had not only on the school climate of her school, but also what it's meant for her parents and her families that attend the school at our school. Dr. Walker, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. So the floor is yours.
Well, I was not anticipating all of this, but here I am. I am a FAST principal to the core, and I absolutely, unequivocally could not do my job without FAST in the house. The connections that our families have made with the school, the relationships that the families have made with their parents, with their children, being in the program, taking that time out. And some of our parents have gone through twice because they have multiple children in different grade bands. And they need that connection because, you know, if you're the younger child, the middle child, the baby, the in-between, sometimes you get left out. And with that connection of the families coming together, the parents challenge each other. There has been a network of resources to where when we do our FAST works, having those activities with parents, there's someone else that they can lean on inside of the building besides the classroom teacher, the principal, the coordinator, the FAST team. They have another FAST family. And during the pandemic, when it first struck in March, we were on our last 2 weeks, and then we went virtual, and it was amazing. The parents appreciated that. And for me, you know, looking at the big picture, yes, during the pandemic, you have had more time with your families than you may or may not have wanted. And then there are days when you just love them to pieces. And then there are days that you wish they would all disappear like Kevin. But with the FAST, since it's research-based, since it's a structured time, since they know this is something that everyone will be doing together, I almost see it as an escape from the pandemic, so to speak, that our families have looked forward to it. We have pictures of them doing activities together, having that mealtime together, playing together, sharing together, and wondering, okay, when is the next FAST? What are we gonna do next week? You know, that interaction, that time to reflect, stop and think, you know, that time is critical. And I must say our trainers have challenged us to do more, pushed us a little bit, leaned on us a little bit to think broader, to think bigger, and to expand. And this past FAST, I believe we had 11 families to complete in the spring or summer, whichever one came first. And that was the largest group that we've had since I've been here, and just looking forward and exciting to do more. And because within this FAST family, there's a couple of schools that I'm connected to because of either A, being a community school, either B, being within the 53206, or C, I have worked with my colleagues before, that end of the year celebration that we missed, where all of the FAST families, all of the FAST schools come together. That piece for me, to see that FAST is not just so I own it, we're only having it here at our, it's just our FAST, but for the families to connect with other FAST families, because I went from a K-8 school to a K-5 school, and some of the schools within the program are K-8 schools, that if the families move within our region or move outside of the region, they know that there are some schools that have the program and that connection and that camaraderie can continue. And that's the piece that is just like, wow, can we make it bigger? Can we do more? How can we impact other schools? And because I am, quote, that principal, some of my colleagues have high schools within that 53206 region. And when we're looking at collective impact, how we can expand this, how can we get the word out even more using their facilities for those families that have, say, eighth graders within that family. So if they're looking for a high school, they had an opportunity to go inside of another high school that was not part of the FAST, but knew that camaraderie was there, that that's all I had to do was pick up the phone and ask my colleagues, can we use your space? And it wasn't an issue, whatever you need, my casa, your casa. And I'll pass the baton to someone else because I could probably talk about FAST until this time next year.
Dr. Walker, before I let you go, I have a couple of just follow-up questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So in my years of violence intervention prevention, 53206 in Milwaukee has always been that zip code that has the highest disparities for health, highest disparities for education, highest disparities of unemployment, highest disparities, racial disparities in that zip code. Can you kind of paint a picture for us of your student population at our, so we can kind of get an understanding of maybe the racial mix and maybe some of the issues that affect, you know, your population of families, so that we can kind of get a picture of the kind of families that we're talking about. You know, FAST serves families all over the world. Certainly a lot of the families we serve are in underserved communities and populations. But I think there's a distinct difference about Milwaukee. There's a very distinct difference about the zip code in which your school operates. Can you kind of paint that picture for us?
It all depends on the day and the week. Everything that you mentioned is true, and then some within the families that we've served in the FAST program and at the community at large. Domestic violence, child abuse, regular violence, murder. Our families have dealt with trauma, loss of children within this community. And yes, this is that underserved population. We, as our zip code, we are nationally known because of our disparities, but there's still that light at the end of the tunnel. And to change that trajectory, to change that story, it's programming, resources, and having the FAST program, another outlet, another opportunity, a way for our families to see their way through. That people outside of MPS, outside of Milwaukee, actually are invested in them, care about them, and want them to succeed. And despite all of the odds and the cards stacked against them, we are still marching forward. We're still providing an educational platform. We're still fighting the fight for equity in resources, programs, and things of such. And within the FAST programming, based on the dollars that we have had to say, yep, we got to cut off our number because we don't have the dollars to support. But if there are families that really want in, then I am willing to put in the additional resources to make it work so that all of our families can experience that camaraderie, that can have that conversation with other parents that are experiencing some of the same struggles or have experienced those same struggles, and that they have made it through. And how did they make it through? That perseverance, that conversation, that network of support within the FAST program, within the school, the FAST team here within the building, and those outliers pulling in resources from the community to support the families and meet them where they are to help strengthen those families.
Dr. Walker, one more question for you. What we talked a lot today in your presentation about the impact on families and children and community. What have you seen as a school administrator on the impact of your staff and the staff team that participates in the FAST program and their connection to the families that participate?
With the staff, that connection, the actual FAST team in itself being connected, and then the actual school community at large. Everybody in this building knows about FAST. It is not a secret. Our teachers who are not a part of the FAST program, they may have students in the FAST program, they push the word out. And if there's something that we need that we may not have, which is a rarity, all hands on deck. The staff will help pitch in to make it work for us and to help support the families. That connection, that connectedness, and then those relationships that some of those push-pull relationships that teachers kind of struggle with, now that they know that this parent has been through, or we have different members of our staff that's a part of the FAST. How can I reach this parent? What's the best approach so that I can make some headway with this parent? They're willing and have been able to get through. And we have relied on other staff members to help pull them along so that we do have that relationship that, you know, that once was strained, that we've smoothed it over. We've got through our differences. Let's move forward. Our focus is on making sure our students have what they need.
Well, Dr. Walker, I can say as someone who attended last year's big event for all 5 schools after graduation, for all families to come together, I can say I certainly saw the magic. As Danetta says, one of our trainers who's also on the call today, there's a magic that happens with FAST. And it certainly is happening in every school in the Milwaukee Public Schools that we're working with. If you as an administrator could talk to another administrator, we have several other schools at MPS that would love to have the FAST program at their school. What advice would you give that administrator on maybe not knowing what the program is, but certainly what it can do for their school?
I would say to other administrators, roll up your sleeves. This is a way to bridge the gap. Some of the resources that at the school level we're not able to provide to the families through the FAST program, we're able to. And it's also a leverage, an opportunity to pull the families in to where it's not the principal leading the work, it's you have other parents on the team, you have community members on the team, then that way school is not such a scary place. And for some of the parents that you may have had the most resistance from, those would be the ones that I would encourage to try to get them in so they can see school in a different light. And some of the barriers that the parents may have had or thought that staff or the principal or someone felt some kind of way about them, they will see it in a whole different light. Because, you know, the goal of leadership is to make sure everyone is successful and grow. And we can't do it if the kids aren't here and if the parents aren't here to receive the materials, if they're not here to receive the PD, if they're not here to receive the resources that the school can provide to help them over that hurdle.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Walker. It's such a pleasure to be working with you. We love you all. Thank you so much.
FAST, and some of our FAST families that have not been able to participate this round because they have graduated. They're looking forward to the FAST Works. Our coordinator has come up with some creative ways to include FAST Works. So some of the traditional things that we would do in the school setting, they will be able to capture that being at home.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being an amazing administrator and supporting your team, and certainly wanting to make that connection with families and helping them connect with your school for the betterment of their kids and their education. I mean, I applaud you. Sometimes that's a difficult task given all the tasks that administrators and teachers have, especially in light of a pandemic, and allowing us to continue to work with you and really work with us as we transition to doing, you know, virtual FAST and at-home FAST. Certainly it's been a pleasure to work with you at our. Thank you so much. I know you have to go. Appreciate your time.
For even considering and even being thoughtful enough to making it virtual, so that connectedness, that we don't lose the gaps, you know, the connection that we made with parents, so that they know that they're not alone. And then also that socialization piece, that since we've been on lockdown for 9 months now, almost, what is it, 6 months, 7 months now? It's all blurring together. So it's been about 6 months, I would say. We have been sheltered and not had that piece, but now that we're in this virtual platform, the pictures we get to see our families, you know, in the world of Zoom. And then when we did the end of the year celebration, being able to see our kids from a distance with the parade, honking the horns and making all the noise that, you know, neighbors are wondering what is really going on. And they see the families out there with that FAST sign. So it's spreading the word throughout the city. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, you cracked the whip. Thanks for all your help and support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, you know, we have 2 parents that are going to be joining us. Jackie, I'm not sure if they've joined us or not yet. I know we have Faith and we have Jane that we're waiting on. 2 parents that participated in the FAST program. And we wanted to share their testimony, but someone else that is on the call that we want to bring in is Dawn Collins, who is from Engelberg. And let me just share this crazy story about Engelberg because, you know, as you all know, I am the newest CEO, Executive Director of FAST International, and I came on last March, so now a year and a half into my position. And the one place that I interviewed at was Engelberg. So one of the first people I was able to meet was Dawn and really watch her facilitate as a team member the FAST program there. And so it's a pleasure to have Dawn here with us today on the call. Dawn, as a FAST coordinator and a parent engagement specialist, can you kind of share kind of what the team perspective is about FAST and kind of what you're seeing in terms of impact on children and families? And right before you start saying that, I just want to remind you all, if you have questions, the best way to get us to answer those questions during our Q&A today is for you to drop them in the chat. Jackie, who's on our team, is monitoring our chat and will facilitate for us those questions back to us that we will answer for you today while we're on chat. If we ever get to the point where we can't answer all your amazing questions, just know that we will answer all of your questions and we will send you those answers in a follow-up email along with the link of today's recording. Also, if you've had friends who wanted to watch us today but could not get into our Zoom because we were full, we had, 100 or more people register, which is pretty amazing. You can watch us right now on Facebook Live, so you can just let them know that we are live on Facebook as well. So if you want to send it to people around the world, because we know we have our world partners as well on the line, you can do that by sharing us on Facebook. So back to one of my favorite people at MPS, Dawn Collins. Dawn, tell me what's happening at Engelberg and about your team.
Being a FAST coordinator is kind of extension to what I already do as parent coordinator at the school. And being on the FAST team is really wonderful because it connects us not only with school staff, but also with the community. And on my team right now, I have 2 school partners and one who's on the call right now. And we also have a couple of community partners, one person that represents her church and another person that represents the Boys and Girls Club. And we also have a graduated FAST parent who's our new parent partner. So we're trying to get it together here. The team aspect, we're really getting to know each other, and some of us have been on the FAST team for a while, some of us are brand new, but we work as a team and we get to know the families, and we utilize our parent partner to help with recruiting, because she's our biggest cheerleader because she's graduated the program, and she started out in the regular FAST program with us, and when the pandemic came, she had to convert to FAST at home. So it was a different experience, but she said she enjoyed it because she had somebody to talk to, she had somebody to help her with her kids and to answer questions, and she also had already made a relationship with other FAST parents. So they were able to reach out to each other and support each other during the pandemic.
That's amazing. And just for our people who may not know what FAST is, our traditional FAST program is a program that runs a series of programs over 8 weeks, once a week. And there's different components that happen on a regular basis at every FAST session. Part of that is connections between parents to parents, connections between partners of the same family, so husband and wife or other partners, and then time for children to be with other children of the same families that are participating in FAST. And then there's a component of the FAST child with a designated parent for one-on-one time, play time, as we say, special play. During the pandemic, of course, as a very relationship-based program, we had to modify what we were doing as a program. And I can tell you, as the leader and cheerleader for us to convert our program to a FAST at Home program, that was not an easy feat. And not everyone could understand how we could take a very face-to-face relationship-based program and transform that to a virtual experience or at home experience. But we did it. So Dawn, could you just kind of talk a little bit about just the modifications that we made from being face-to-face? What are some of the things that MPS did, especially in Engelberg, that changed that dynamic for families and really helped support them? Because one of the things that we hear consistently about FAST at Home, the most important part for families has been the connection to somebody at the school during this crazy time of them being isolated. Can you share some examples or what Engelberg did?
One thing we did, we connected a team member to a family. So when you connected with that family, they were able to reach out to that family weekly and talk to them about the different components of FAST and how they were using those components within the family, because they had already, I think we were in our maybe 5th week when we had to go out to FAST at Home, convert to FAST at Home. So they were able to reach out to those families. And what we did was we set up little packets to give to the families so they can continue all the components at home. So we had the feeling charade cards, we had the scribbles for them. We also made sure to call them weekly to find out if they had been doing family meals, if they were having some discussions, if they had reached out to other fast families to talk. And a lot of the parents, you know, they were frustrated, they didn't know what to do. We offered them resources to help out with maybe like food share. We offered, if they need some assistance with rent, we had things to give to them about that. And through our community partners and through me as a parent coordinator, I had different resources that I could share with them about what they can do to better relationships or connect with their families more. We also had some parents, like I said, they connected with other parents. So then they discovered that some of the things that they were feeling and some of the things that they were going through, other families was also going through it. So it wasn't you know, they knew they weren't alone.
I'm on mute. I did that to be quiet. I do that to myself all the time. I get caught by the staff all the time. Now I got caught by all of you. So, so you said that you have a parent on the line.
No, I have a school partner.
A school partner. So can you identify who they are for Jackie so we can invite them into this conversation if they don't mind sharing a few words?
We have Lola James on our line.
I see a name that says Lola James. Lola, are you there? And Jackie, can you unmute Lola for us?
Yep, so it doesn't look like Lola is connected to her microphone at the moment.
Okay.
But she has been made a co-host, so if she ever does connect and she would like to chat, she's more than welcome to.
Oh, perfect. Well, since Lola isn't here, Dawn, can you kind of share from your Engelberg perspective some of the parents' sentiments about participation in FAST?
I know in FAST, this was a crazy scenario, and I found out later that this happened because I did not know when we were in FAST. We had a couple of sisters that were in FAST together. They both have children at the school, and they hadn't spoken for a long time. For whatever reason, the sisters hadn't spoken for a long time. So when we were recruiting for FAST, just so happened the two sisters joined FAST, and later on I found out they were sisters. And during the FAST program, they were able to connect, and through buddy time, they were able to talk to each other and really hash out what they were actually arguing about and hadn't spoke to each other about, because they end up becoming end up becoming buddy time partners during the parent meeting. And then their kids were able to reconnect during kids' time and have fun. And she actually told me this later, like months later after we had been done with FAST. You wouldn't have known it because during the parents' meeting, they became so close that one of them was having a baby and the other was able to be there for her sister for the baby. And literally they had not talked for almost a year. So it kind of connected those families back together. And so I thought that was a good example. And another thing, we had a parent during when we converted to FAST at home, we had a mom who was really busy. She had a small baby and she had a daughter. So during FAST at home, she discovered that her daughter felt like that she was paying more attention to the baby than her. So they were able to talk during family meal time and one-on-one time with each other and find out that this is the way she felt. And also through our community partner, that was the person that was connecting with her, mom wasn't taking a lot of time for herself. So she was able to put herself on her list of things to do. So it was able to help the family get back together, and she was able to listen more to her daughter, and she was able to kind of separate what she was doing with the baby from what she was doing with her older daughter. And also she was able to put herself back on her list of priorities.
Amazing. We hear that a lot about FAST, right? About parents learning what the value is for taking time, for taking care of themselves so they can better be prepared for taking care of their family and their children. So thank you for sharing that amazing example. We have one of our parents on the line, Jane. So glad to have you with us, Jane Pettis. We're going to unmute your mic. Jackie's going to unmute your mic. And when she does, Jane, would you share with us kind of your experience with FAST, what school you're at as a parent, what your experience has been, and how FAST has helped you and your family?
Well, I'm a parent of a student at Our Avenue. It's impacted our family quite a bit. We got to know, more people because we originally wasn't from here. So we connected with more families and more children, got to know, Shakia got to know more kids within the program. I got to know more of the parents and interact with them. It kind of brought us a little closer together where we spent more time together. We actually look forward to FAST every week and being there within the program. And, it was actually, how can I say, it was actually great for us. So I really enjoyed the program. I wish we could be within the school still doing the program now instead of over the computer, because it give us more time to connect better. And I was able to, it was actually, a lot of us was able to talk to one another about things that was going on with us that we felt like we possibly couldn't talk to anyone else about. And we really had a great time. We really had a great time.
So Jane, did you do FAST at home as well? Did you transition from face-to-face to FAST at home?
Yes.
So clearly there was a difference, right? Because you went from having a group of families to being with your own family at home. But a lot of families shared with us that it was still important for them to have that connection and that time with their family every week, even though they were at home and just doing it as a family. What components of the FAST program would you say were the most helpful or impactful for your family?
Actually, it brought us to actually having dinner more often together. We always pretty much did game time and stuff like that with each other anyway. It just brought us a little closer to one another where we could talk more openly with one another and not feel like there was any type of judgment or we're going to get angry about things that we possibly talk about together as family. So that pretty much helped. That's what helped us.
Did you feel still connected to the school from your team members who were participating with you at FAST at home? Did you maintain that connection? Yeah. Was that helpful? Was that helpful for you during the pandemic? I can imagine, given isolation and everybody being separate, that might have made a difference.
Even a team member that was assigned to us, we was actually close when we was in the program. And I also was close with my child's teacher, Ms. Sims. So, and we maintained that relationship still until this day. So
amazing.
It was actually great for us. And my children love the staff at FAST.
That's awesome.
They say our family actually would, kind of bring light to the program because we always laugh, we always joke around, kid around and everything like that. But there was nothing that was asked of us that we had a problem with doing. We did that and whatever else needed to be done. If we needed to participate and help other families if needed, we did that with no problem.
That's amazing. I'm so glad you were able to keep that connection, even though you didn't have that closeness in terms of physical space. at the
Right.
school, that you could still maintain that with your FAST team. That is amazing for us.
Because there was
Again,
days that we couldn't call. If we needed anything, we was able to call and request what was needed, if anything. And they had no issue with helping us with anything that we needed.
if you could share with someone who maybe doesn't know anything about FAST as a parent, they're just another
Yeah,
parent at
already.
our school, how would you describe FAST to them, and how would you convince them to join FAST as a family?
Well, I have already talked to, over the computer, I talked to, when Ms. Sims, was asking families that they want to join. I told them that is a wonderful program. It actually brings family members closer together. And you also have that quality time with your family. And it's something that, if they're interested in, if it was anything that they wanted to know, or, seek more information about, that, I was here at their leisure. We always talked over the computer after class was done. So I let a couple of families know that that was a wonderful program, and it helped me and my family.
Thank you so much for sharing your testimony, Jane. Thank you for being one of our families. As you know, when you go through FAST, either as a trainer, as a team member, or as a family, you become a larger part of our larger FAST family. So thank you so much for being a part of our FAST family. Thank you so much for taking time to share your experience with our program. I know
I really
Jill.
love that program, and I feel like that it should be in more schools and more families be able to be involved within the program, because that is a wonderful program for families.
Thank you so much. I know Jillian is on the line somewhere. I saw her.
Stop it.
Sentiments that Jane shared and our other team members shared from our Milwaukee project. It's nice to have her on the line, and so I thank Jillian for joining us, even though I don't know where she is in my screen at the moment, but I know she's there. And thank you so much, Jillian, for your commitment of partnering with us as well to make sure that this program has been sustainable for some time now in Milwaukee, and we look forward to continuing to find ways to support more schools in Milwaukee, because we know that there's a need in Milwaukee to continue to do this work and engage families at this level. In addition to that, FAST, as a program, as an organization, we are committed to looking for additional funds as well, and really working right now at a federal level on campaigning for funds to support our work, not only in the state of Wisconsin, but across the nation of the US. And so we are in a campaign right now to raise funds locally for Wisconsin, but also nationally, to grow our presence and to helping support school districts all over the US to be able to have funds to do the FAST program. We know that when families do the FAST program, if a family participates at least one time, 80% of our families continue and graduate from our program. Those are high statistics given the situation, and given our pandemic now, we still have seen that level of engagement from our families and our commitment from our teams. And we are committed as an organization to continuing to find ways to support disseminating this program across the US and internationally. And many of you know, we are starting to work with our 25th country across the globe with the Czech Republic, and we're continuing to find ways to support more programs. And so if you have ideas or questions, please put them in the Q&A box in the chat room. We'll find ways to do that. I also know that our board chair is on the call. Kathy, I see you. Thank you for joining us and for your commitment as a past FAST family, and now joining and being the president of our board of directors. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for being my partner in this journey of me leading this amazing organization. If you're interested in supporting, if you're a funder that's on the line, we have some funders as well from both Milwaukee and Madison. If you're interested in supporting us financially, and the work that we're doing to reinvigorate our programs in Madison and Milwaukee, feel free to reach out to us. You will get a follow-up email that has my contact information, and I'd love to sit down and talk with you about ideas that we have that you can use your support. We are now in the phase of being able to answer some questions. I did not see Faith come into the conversation, which was the other parent that we were going to talk to today, but I know it's so hard for parents right now. We're all juggling, myself included. I have a child right next to me who's doing virtual school here at home. And so I know how challenging it is for parents to be able to break away when you're also being a teacher and a mom and all those other things. I know Danetta knows that as well as a trainer, and she's on the call as well. So we want to make sure that we're flexible. You know, we want parents to be able to come in and out as they're able, and we want them to have the space because their voice is the most important voice that we have in the FAST program. And so if you have some questions, you can start fielding them to our chat room, and we will start answering those questions. Jackie, do you have a question for us?
Yep, so our first question is regarding if FAST has a fatherhood component. They were wondering if you could talk more about that and how FAST is intentionally engaging fathers.
So FAST, believe it or not, has the highest engagement for fathers of all parent education programs that exist. In part, it is because we treat the father as an equal to the mother in our programming and how it is designed. We do not separate necessarily the fathers and the mothers. We don't separate and give more importance to one or the other, because we at FAST totally understand that parents together, whether they are married or not, but they're co-parenting, is the most important relationship in the lives of children. And as a person who came from a home where my parents divorced very young, the commitment my father had of being involved, I understand firsthand how important that is. We also partner with Fathers and Families Coalition of America, in which I am the Midwest affiliate leader, covering the Midwest for that organization. And we partner with those other fatherhood programs to ensure that the FAST program is at the edge of the cutting edge of what's happening in reaching and engaging fathers. Of course, that is a personal decision. We respect the decision and the family dynamics. Sometimes that's a possible to happen where a father can be involved. Sometimes it's not. But I can tell you that if a father comes to our program, he is loved and hugged just like the mom is and the kids are. And we're glad to have them because, again, we understand how important and influential that relationship is on the life of that child. We are advocating, all the time for encouraging, on our team development. If there's a team that's being put together at a school, that we have a parent that's a mother, and we also have a parent that's a father as a part of the team, so that father voice is still included. And any other times that we can do that throughout the program, we are definitely advocating for an equality. There's also a racial equality to our program and ensuring that we are culturally representative of the families that we're serving. And sometimes that's difficult for schools and communities to embrace, given the dynamics and the makeup of what happens in terms of politics, in terms of community dynamics. But as a program, we have been committed for 32 plus years to ensuring that there's a gender diversity and there's a racial diversity to our teams, and that our trainers as well represent the cultures in which we are serving communities. I hope I answered that question the best way I could, given this short amount of time. Is there another question?
Yep, thank you so much, Toni. The second question we have asks, does FAST encourage parent involvement at the classroom level? And then how might that expand to grade level, subject area, and school-wide?
Well, certainly, if FAST is happening in a school, like as you heard with Dr. Walker, she encourages all her teachers to be involved at her school level, one, in understanding what FAST is, which really is the first basic component of really understanding what FAST is going to do in your school. Secondly, we encourage administrators to do professional development around parent engagement. That's what we have our FAST Institute to do. And in that, we're helping them develop a strategy at a school level, including all school personnel, to ensure that everybody understands what parent engagement is to the FAST program. You know, we are dedicated to the values that we have as a program, and many of you know what they are. And the most important value we have is that every parent loves and wants what's best for their children. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand, given situations and dynamics that happen within families. Not everyone believes that that's true, but we empower and we ensure that teams and programs and teachers embrace the fact that parents are the first teacher. They are the most important relationship in the life of that child, and we work for everyone to understand what that is. Is there another question, Jackie?
The last question we received, I believe we already touched on this kind of during the conversation, but it was, are schools in Madison running FAST completely virtually?
So absolutely not everyone. So Kennedy Heights, where we have a neighborhood center, they have a child care center. And so they're doing some in person and some virtual. One city in Madison right now is doing virtual, but my understanding is they're moving towards having in person. Every district I'm going to just speak to Wisconsin in general, because our numbers right now puts us at a very high risk of having people meeting in groups. We also have our preschool development grant that we're also working with the Department of Children and Families, that's operating in 5 different regions of the state. 4 of those out of the 5 are doing virtual, 1 is doing in person. So it really is a community by community level, and those decisions are made by local public health officials, which should be making those decisions, my opinion. And so we are following what is happening in every district that we're working in and every region we're working in. So we're trying to be as flexible as we can as a program, but also understand that as the executive director of FAST, I need to make the right decisions for my team in where they operate and work, to make sure that they themselves are also safe, because we serve so many different communities in Wisconsin and outside of Wisconsin.
Well, thank you so much, Toni. That was all the questions we had.
Well, wonderful. And that means we're right on time, believe it or not. Sometimes my talking and my very Latina X takes me in a lot of different directions, but I'm trying to stay on time. If there's not any other questions, what I will share with you is you will get a follow-up email from myself and from our team. You can sign up for times to talk with our program staff about wanting more information about the programs that we run and how they operate. You can also sign up for a time with me if you want to talk about funding strategies or opportunities to give and support programs locally or within the state of Wisconsin. We are always here to listen to those conversations. Thank you to our guests. Jane, are you okay? Okay. I see you over there. I didn't know if I was making you do something, cry. I was like, wait a minute, let me not offend or anything. But thank you so much to Jane. Oh, I see a baby. Wait, we got to go back to the baby. We got to see the baby. Come here, baby girl. Come here. Hi, beautiful. Hi. Are you one of?
That's at our avenue.
That's our FAST baby. Hi, FAST baby. Do you have anything you want to say?
You have anything you want to say? She ran.
That's usually what happens with our kiddos when they're on the screen. They run. But thank you, Jane. Sorry to put you on the spot. I saw you and I was like, wait, did I see a baby? Okay. Thank you so much. Again, we will follow up with you. And I also want to thank Juan for that question. I know he's in San Bernardino. I was on their call about a month ago. Thank you for that fatherhood question. Juan, if you have any other questions, please contact Molly and we can work with your team one-on-one. And I saw that Monica is on the call. Thank you, Monica, for joining us from Senator Baldwin's office. We appreciate having you. And I can't see all of your names, but those are the ones that stick out to me at the moment. If you have, again, any questions at any time, FAST is here for you. You can find us at www.familiesandschools.org, all spelled out. We are happy and always willing to have you with us. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us. Chris, thank you for being one of our MPS trainers. We appreciate you down in Phoenix, even though I know it's warmer down there than up here. So thank you all. Thank you so much. With that, we're gonna let you go and you're all out of here on time. Thank you so much.